Hello, Cyberlinks, and welcome to well, to be brutally honest, a new kind of video that I was wanting to try out. Just because my Cyber Thoughts series has never done particularly well, and to be honest, I was kind of thinking that maybe doing something like voiceover with some gameplay footage in the background of just whatever I'm playing at the time might actually be a little bit more interesting as you listen to my thoughts on a particular topic. But regardless, um, before we get into that, I want to apologize that we're not going to be streaming for the next couple days. Unfortunately, the part of Illinois that I'm in is getting hit with a really bad heat wave. As of now, at the time that I'm recording this, it is very, very late into the day because this is the first time that I've actually been able to be in my room without sweating my balls off. Our temperatures today were 115 degrees, and tomorrow it's supposed to be even hotter. They're saying it's going to be close to 120, 125 degrees. So, yeah. No streams, unfortunately. I do apologize. I had intentions of streaming later tonight, but by the time it was cooling off enough to where I could actually run my computer, even with as efficient as my computer is, it wasn't possible until 10 o'clock, and I just thought there wasn't any purpose. So, that being said, though, I still did want to talk about this because this, at least as of earlier today, was breaking. I don't know that it will be breaking as when you guys can see this, which should hopefully be Thursday the 24th. Basically, for anyone who didn't see any of my previous videos talking about the subject, Sony announced at the end of May of this year that they were going to be kind of getting back into the handheld market. Sony has had a really bad history with the handhelds that they've put out. Granted, it's only been the PlayStation Portable and the PlayStation Vita, but they've both done less than stellar in terms of Sony's mind. The PlayStation Portable was actually a very good handheld, and it sold very well. But because it didn't compete well with the DS at the time, they deem it a failure. The Vita was actually legitimately a failure. I think it technically... Somebody in the comments, if you want to point this out to me, please do. I think it technically sold worse than the Wii U. That's how little were sold. But I'm probably wrong on that, but who knows? Point being, at the end of the May timeline for their PlayStation Direct kind of conference, instead of doing E3, basically Sony came out and announced that they were working on a PlayStation successor for the handheld market, and the whole idea for it was that it would let you play PlayStation games portably, which was a really cool concept, and it was really interesting. Granted, I was in Hawaii at the time, but I was watching the conference and I was listening to some people's thoughts on the matter. It's an overall really cool looking device. Basically, what they did was they split a DualSense controller for the PlayStation 5, and they put a huge flippin' ass tablet in between that. So I think it comes out to 8 inches, and then you've got the full-on DualSense controller. It looks huge. It is absolutely something that is not portable at all. Not that the Switch is portable, but it's still cool that it exists. Now, the problem is when you get into the games, because Sony basically came out and said, yeah, we're going to come out with this device and we're going to let you guys play your PlayStation 5 games, but it's going to require a Wi-Fi connection. Now, I am no stranger to cloud gaming. I was a Google Stadia user. Believe it or not, I actually played on Google Stadia. I bought many of my games on Google Stadia, and I quite enjoyed the platform. Since then, I've kind of moved ship to GeForce Now since they closed, unfortunately. But I'm very familiar with cloud gaming. And even I can say that I won't be buying this because more details have kind of come out about it since that, and none of it is good. Pretty much at the event, they announced that it was only going to be able to stream your PlayStation 5 games that you had directly installed on the console. So if you're someone like me that has a physical PlayStation 5, you buy most of your games physically, minus whatever you get from PlayStation Plus, you're kind of SOL. That is still staying true. They are not going to let you stream PlayStation Premium content, the stuff that has cloud versions of the games. They're not going to let you stream that directly to the handheld. So if you want to play it on the handheld, if you have a game that's included on Premium Plus, or Plus Premium, or whatever the fuck it's called, if you have a game that's included, it's recommended that you don't try. Basically, if you want to play it, you have one of two options. You either stream it to your PlayStation 5 and then stream it to your handheld, which is not recommended due to latency issues, or you have to download it to your PlayStation 5, deal with however long it could download. I mean, games nowadays could be anywhere between 50 and 100 gigabytes, and then you have to stream it to your handheld. So you're talking about something that could be almost instantaneous to now being something that's going to take probably half of your day. Now, in and of itself, that I was kind of okay with, but I was a little frustrated, and I basically left the conversation in the short video that I put up on the matter. I basically said that I wanted to see where the price of this was going to be, and I wanted to see them do something else with it, because in and of itself right now, what you can do on this is exactly what you can do on your phone with a DualSense controller. It's nothing different. And I remember specifically mentioning the Logitech G Cloud. It's a very similar device to this, and it's geared more at GeForce Now, Xbox, cloud gaming, and Amazon Luna. And I very much remember saying, the price of this device will be very interesting, because when the Logitech G Cloud came out, it launched at $350, and people kind of ripped Logitech a new one because they said, oh, it's just an Android tablet with controllers on the side. It's exactly what my phone is with my controller. There's no reason to spend $350 on this. And shortly after the launch, they weren't selling the amount of units that they wanted to sell. They ended up dropping the price down for, I'm pretty sure, a limited time. I think it's back at $350, but for a while you could pick it up for $300. And it was a cool thing, and it was a really well-built device. It's just, it wasn't worth $300. And I remember saying the exact same thing about this. I was like, this thing really needs to come in at like $150, $200 tops, because anything more than that, and it's going to be even more not worth it. And lo and behold, today on August 23rd, we've actually gotten some more details about it. Basically coming in here from The Verge, I'll try and include like a screenshot of this in post. Sony's portable PlayStation, which they are now no longer calling Project Q, they actually given it the name PlayStation Portal, which is not at all confusing to PlayStation Portable, launches later this year for $199.99. Sony's PlayStation handheld will stream at PlayStation 5 games. This comes in by Tom Warren through The Verge. So first thing before we get into the article that I thought was actually really comforting to see, I honestly thought that they were going to launch this at like $250 to $300, and I was really scared. $200 is definitely more swallowable, especially in this economy that everyone is pretty much going through, where inflation is making everything stupid expensive. Seeing it come in at $200 is really comforting because Sony doesn't normally make things affordable for us. Normally they're very expensive. But as we get into the article, Sony officially launched its portable PlayStation later this year. The PlayStation Portal Remote Player. The handheld device will stream PS5 games over Wi-Fi and features an 8-inch LCD screen running at 1080p resolution at 60 FPS. Sony says the PlayStation Portal will be available later this year, priced at $200. And it will be more once you include tax. Quote, PlayStation Portal will connect remotely to your PlayStation 5 over Wi-Fi, so you will be able to swiftly jump from playing on your PlayStation 5 to your PlayStation Portal, says Hideki Nishino. I think that he's the vice president of the platform experience in Sony Interactive and Entertainment. You know who I'm talking about. PlayStation Portable can support games that are installed on your PlayStation 5 and use the DualSense controller. Now, this in and of itself is nothing new. You know, hearing that it's launching at $200, that's all fine and dandy, and totally a good thing. This the thing that's the caveat that's like really frustrating about this. Actually, The Verge doesn't even go into in their article. Well, we all know that this is pretty much just going to be a clone of what you can do on the PlayStation Remote Play app on your phone. The thing that they don't talk about here, though, is that this device doesn't natively support Bluetooth. And I understand we very much are. A lot of Sony PlayStation fans will probably defend this move because you can use wireless headphones. You can use the Sony PlayStation branded headphones, things that you would use on your PlayStation 5. They've got a couple. They just came out with earbuds, I think, that launch at $200, and I think they have a headset at like $300, $400. But natively, if you own a pair of Bluetooth headphones, there's no native way to just use them on this device, which I actually find very, very frustrating. Our society has moved away from wired headphones for the last 8-9 years. Ever since the iPhone stopped including it, more and more devices have not included headphone jacks, which I'm okay with. I've embraced a wireless life for the most part. Doesn't mean that this isn't frustrating, because I guarantee you it will include a headphone jack, and I don't own a pair of wired headphones anymore. The Switch was the last major device that I use on a daily basis where I had a pair of wired headphones, and ever since they adopted Bluetooth, which was back in 2020, I believe, might have been 2021 for all I know it was during the pandemic, but ever since they adopted Bluetooth, I haven't used wired headphones. I use a pair of AirPod Pro 2nd generation and a pair of Pixel Buds. Specifically the Pros, I believe. Okay, real quick, just want to amend my previous statement. IGN does go into their article. They do say that it doesn't have Bluetooth. More specifically, they do talk about the technology that it uses. Apparently, it's called PlayStation Link Wireless Technology. It's a proprietary standard for PlayStation devices, which pretty much just means that this technology will be extremely expensive, and any headphones that come out for it, which to a certain degree is understandable, but it's still frustrating because if you don't have a pair of these headphones, which I don't, now looking at this, if you want a pair of wireless headphones and you don't have them, you now not only have to spend $200 on getting the device itself, but you also have to spend another $200 just to get the stupid headphones. Which, yeah, you have the added benefit of using them on the PlayStation 5, but that doesn't mean that they're not... The cost quickly adds up, and it's frustrating. If they would have just had standard Bluetooth, you could have just said, okay, yeah, just use whatever pair of headphones. Use your Pixel Buds. Use your AirPods, your Skull Candy headphones, your Samsung headphones for all you care. But now you're tacking on this that a lot of people don't have. And I kind of find them annoying. And on top of it, these don't natively work on your PlayStation 5. With the PlayStation 5, you need a USB adapter because the PlayStation 5, I'm just remembering, the PlayStation 5 doesn't have Bluetooth. They use a special proprietary connection to connect your DualSense to the PlayStation 5. So if you don't have that, that's another thing that you have to go out and buy. And I don't know. I think that this is adding more and more reasons that people just honestly should not buy this. Honestly, if you guys really do want to stream your PlayStation 5 or your PlayStation 4 games to a mobile device, which, again, I understand, I cloud game as well. right now you're watching, unless something's changed, you're watching Watch Dogs through GeForce Now. If you want this, seriously, just buy a controller grip. There's one from, I forget what the company is, but I'll leave it in the little, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. But there's a handful that just automatically connect up to your phone, whether your phone's an Android with USB-C or whether you're an iPhone with Lightning. There's just so many other options that at most cost you like $100 and not 200 plus. I am honestly at this point, I was hoping with the new information that we got today that this would have changed my mind and my opinion on specifically this device and made me realize that, hey, this was a good device to go out and buy. But honestly, it's not. Between this and the PlayStation VR headset that came out for the PlayStation 5, I honestly don't think Sony's 100% here with this console generation. Because whether it's the PSVR 2 being horribly, horribly, horribly overpriced, that thing really should be retailing for $400, not $550 to $600. And with the PlayStation Portal, I mean, yeah, it's affordable for people, but it's not at all what we want. I still say again, this needs to allow cloud gaming content to be streamed directly to it. If it can stream games from your PlayStation 5, it should be able to stream from the PlayStation Plus Premium category. Because get this, if you're a physical game collector like myself, yeah, I don't have many PlayStation 5 games. PlayStation 5 is just not my console, unfortunately. I prefer the Xbox this generation. But if you collect physical games, which there are still a lot of people that will go out and buy physical games, if you're part of that category, you're screwed because you can only play what's in your console. You can't even play any of the things that you have downloaded and installed to it. It's really, really not meant for normal consumers, I'll be honest. This is a very niche category, and they're really setting themselves up to fail. So it's sad to say this, but what I said earlier this year is still true. I'm not picking this one up. And I'm telling all 400 of you, please don't buy this. Just use your phone. So thank you guys for coming out to my little rant today. If you guys like the new setup for the Cyberthoughts series or whatever you want to call it, just leave a comment down below and tell me that if you like the setup like this, just tell me. If you don't, just be honest with me. I want to do something where it's entertaining for you guys. Even if that means a little bit more work, I'm all for it. If you guys did like the video or you like my content overall, hit that like button if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, as it shows me that you guys did like the video and that you enjoy my content. It also helps YouTube actually send you my videos in your subscription feed. So yeah. Also give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Where are you guys standing? Are you changing your minds? Are you going to be buying this? Not going to be buying this? Is your opinion still standing that you've had since May, like mine? I'd very much like to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Am I the odd one out, or are you guys siding with me on this? So hopefully I get to see you guys in a couple days once the heat's kind of gone away. As of right now, I should be back on Saturday, assuming that the heat goes away. So as always, I look forward to seeing you guys on our next digital adventure. Bye, guys.